Hey, what's up? This is Scott with Level Up Tuts, and today I'm going to be showing you how to add a CSS grid to your Magento site so that we can get the layout of our site start to take shape. This way we can have our site be responsive for mobile, so it's going to look great on your phone, it's going to look great on a tablet, and it's going to look great on the desktop. No matter what your browser with window is going to be, the site is going to adapt. Okay, so we're going to be using Skeleton, which is a boilerplate for responsive, mobile-friendly development. And we're going to be adding this to our site, and then we're going to be modifying some of our template files so that it uses the grid. And if you're not familiar with grid frameworks, we can just scroll down here, and you can see basically by assigning classes to your divs, it's going to determine how wide those particular divs are. In this particular example, they have 1, 11, 2, 10, and this is an out of a 12 maximum. However, the maximum amount of columns in this grid, which is based off of the 960 grid, is 16 columns. This keeps going away. And here in their example, you can see you have a container, which is 960 and it's centered. And then inside of here, you're saying this is a full width of 16 columns. Down here we have something else that is a width of 6 columns, and then 3 within that, 3 within that. We're using alpha to show that it's the first item, omega to show you it's the second item. Like I said, if you're not familiar with grid frameworks, you'll see how this is working in just a second. However, we're going to download this, we're going to add it to our site, and then we're going to get going. And you're going to see how a grid can make things nice and easy for developing your layouts of your site. So this page is www.getskeleton.com, and like I said, there's many other grid frameworks. If this isn't one that you like, if there's ones that you're used to, feel free to go ahead and use them. I know I've been particularly fond of one called Suzy that's made for Sass and Compass development. So I haven't been using this one in particular just because it's been replaced to me by Suzy or just the normal 960. There's all sorts of grid frameworks, and find which one you like the best and go with it. Even Twitter Bootstrap has a grid framework built into it as well. So I'm going to click this download button. I'm just going to download it from GitHub. And what comes in here is just an HTML file that's going to show you the initial markup and some other things. It's a base style sheet, and this base style sheet is actually going to include some styles. You can see it makes forms look like this. By default, it's changing the way buttons and headings look. It's using Helvetica Canoe and stuff like that. So you don't have to input this file. Wait, where was I? Scroll down here. Yeah. So if you don't want this basic styles, you don't have to use this base CSS. I'm going to put it in here just because it's going to look nice. Skeleton.css is according to this, the glorious skeleton grid. So this is what we want. And inside of this layout is just some code here to help us out with some media queries. If you don't know what media queries are, I would suggest checking out the book Responsive Web Design or just Googling a little bit about it. We haven't hit those tutorials yet in Level Up Tuts, but we'll be covering responsive web design in the CSS3 tutorial series later, but you can get a little bit idea. Basically, media queries are just saying, depending on what the device width is, how the site should change, how the styles should change. So, I click download, I have this folder, it has my stuff in it. Let's bring up my actual site. And we're going to drop these CSS files into our particular theme, our own theme. So let me scroll back out of here. I want to find Level Up. So I'm going to go, actually, yeah, Design. Actually, I think I'm in the app folder. Let's go back here. Okay, we're at the root of our folder, the root of our site. We're going to go to Skin, Front End, and then I'm going to find Level Up, Default, and then inside of here is our CSS. We had our styles.css folder, our file in here before. You, of course, got used to that one. So I'm going to drag these three in here. I'm just going to drop them right in the CSS. And now in my page template, let's go to, I'm going to open up another Finder window here. So I'm just going to open up another window here. Now in this one, I'm going to go to App, and then App. We're going to go to Design, and then Design, Front End, and then the theme we're going to be looking at is Level Up. I'll close this layout folder, and we're going to be looking in the template folder. Inside of template, we want page, and we're actually going to be grabbing the default home page. We'll go over the other pages in a later lesson, but for now, let's just hook up the home page. So to know that, let's go back to our site. We have these development stuff on. You can see it's using the 2 columns right p.html. So we know that's found in our base, or our default. We know that's found in our base, default, and then layout, or I'm sorry, template. And this is going to be page. And we're looking for 2 column right p.html. Okay, let's drag this down here. I'm actually going to change this file around a little bit because I want this to be my own theme. I don't want to use sort of Magento's defaults. However, there's things I want to keep in it, so I'm going to drop this into here. Okay, so the next thing we're going to need to do is link up our CSS files, base, layout, and skeleton into our styles.css file. So this way that our styles will actually show up. They'll be added to the site. We're going to import them into this style sheet simply because that's how I want it. You could actually have it in the XML file. You could hard code them into the head.phtml. There's all sorts of different approaches. You could even open up those other CSS files and copy and paste them directly into your styles.css, but this one is going to be working pretty clean for me right now. So I'm just going to do import and then URL. And because these are in the same folder, I just have to have like that, base.css. And now I'm just going to copy and paste this 3 times. I'm going to put layout, and then not table layout. And then I'm going to put skeleton.css as the third. And this CSS file should be right away easy to use, or ready to use. So one thing we'll notice is because this base CSS file has included so many styles with it, when I give this page a refresh, you should see a lot of things change, like the search button and some of this stuff. Okay, so you can see all our forms changed, all of our body text color is changed. In fact, if we want to overwrite that, we can, that should be no problem, because it looks like it's giving all this text and these links sort of a light gray look, which isn't going to work super well in our background. In fact, that's something that I'm going to want to overwrite. Actually, let me just see exactly what else these things are. This p tag. So it looks like everything in the body is getting a color of 444, and all the links are getting a color of 333 or something. So let's give the links a color of white just so they stand out. And let's come back here. Under body, because this CSS is coming in after this base CSS, it's going to override it. So we're going to do color for body, and then we're going to have this be something a bit darker, 111. And then for anchor tags, we're going to want all of our links to be color white. Let's refresh our page. All right, things are looking a little bit better. I mean, there's some wackiness going on here. We'll fix all that stuff because, to be honest, I'm not even going to keep these really like this anymore. But it's looking a little bit better. We have our files in here now, and we can start using this layout. Okay, so that's it for this video. In the next video, we're going to pick off right where we stopped off, and we're going to go from there. As always, this is Scott with Level Up Tuts, and thanks for watching.